Yo, welcome to the Hive Hustle, the captivating podcast where we dive into street culture, whether that be hip hop, crump, roller skating, R&B music, dance, graffiti, whatever has helped me grow as a person, shaped my life.
It's official now. The Hive Hustle Podcast about to sit you down. Go and fix your crown. This ain't a grain of salt. Pick your brain and thoughts, even through a major loss. Still remain a boss.
Today, I got a great guest.
Yo.
Dude is like really tremendously helped me in the past couple years. And yo, side note, his shoelaces are dope as hell.
Oh, swear
it. My boy Brandon from Also Dope, Show Crew, veteran in the Vegas dance community. He was cool with having a conversation with me, coming on the podcast, and really, let's dive in, man. I want to get to know you more. I want to have people know your story.
Oh.
I'm also a part of Dope Show, if you don't know.
Yeah.
I barely go to practice, but they still family.
Live a dope life.
You know? So first and foremost, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Getting over being sick.
COVID, right?
Yeah, I had COVID like 2 weeks ago.
It's like flu now.
Yeah, a little bit. But I feel like, I got sick again. I have like a head cold now.
Okay.
So that's how I know it's not COVID. So if I sound a little stuffy or anything.
Bro, you realize I
attribute it
post
to that.
videos all the time sounding stuffy? My allergies is no joke.
Oh.
And we just got a new dog. So
Not
I'm
hyperallergenic.
about to take Zyrtec every day again.
Hey, I feel it. I should have took one
But
before
it's
I
a
can.
Frenchie, so I can't. She cute as hell, bro.
Oh.
So, but okay. First and foremost, bro, thank you for being on the show. I'm appreciative. Like, as you know, I do my best to try to give back to the community, and this community shaped me, man. Vegas shaped my life. Hip hop, crump, street dance, just in general, and that's what I do this for. I've been around you since 2012. And
Yes.
we got really close like a year and a half ago, like when I started with Dope Show.
Yeah.
And you and Steph really changed my thought process on dance. And this first season was really, really geared towards like who invested in me and who inspired me throughout like the past like 7 years. And you're one of those people.
Well, thank you, man. That's crazy to think about.
It is, but you don't know who you're inspiring sometimes. And y'all, when I first walked into the first practice and I had to sign an NDA, I was like, oh, they serious. So first and foremost, man, tell us your journey. You know, tell us how you got into hip hop dance. What made you want to make it a career too?
So I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Look, you said it with the accent and everything.
Yeah. Shout out to the 7 Ward 504. You know, gotta always put it on your back.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, being from New Orleans, it's the city that invented jazz. You know? So it's a very musical city. So I grew up going to block parties. I grew up going to all these places. Random as hell. Producer Manny Fresh went to my church.
Whoa,
So-
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like there's always been like I didn't know who he was at the time, you know.
Yeah,
like,
you was
people
like-
oh, but I've always had like some type of like
Involvement
music,
in
yeah. But I never I like tried to play trumpet in 3rd grade, but I didn't have the lungs for it, so that was like a fail right
Yeah.
there. But I've always had this like music baked into like my life.
Okay.
Especially because the city is like you can't go anywhere without
Oh yeah.
music, especially in New Orleans, because you got jazz, you got Zydeco, you got like Cajun jazz, you got all this different like stuff that's going on, and that's really apparent in the music. Especially like the Trigger Man beat is everywhere in New Orleans, and now it's like making a resurgence with Drake and all this stuff. So, my earliest memory of dance was like this block party, and the Block is Hot came on. And like, you know, it's the 90s, so like that was just hidden, and that's like the first thing I remember, like, oh snap. And that's like really seeing like the community side of hip hop and like what it is, besides just like you know, the studio side. So that's always intrigued me. And then when I moved out here, I was like 13.
Okay.
Moved to Vegas. No, I was like 12. I was mad young, but coming out here and people that I collided with that introduced me to dance in like a different way.
Okay.
And so like I had this homie named Moody Man. That was his name. Shout out
Okay.
Antoine. But he used to be real cool with Deshaun Fiction before he became Fiction. So like I knew him like in passing back in the day, and like we would go to like Meadows Mall and like jerk battle people.
Crap. Jerking.
Yeah, that's what we used to do at Meadows Mall.
It had to be Meadows though.
It had
Not
to be
Boulevard.
Nah, because I used to stay up.
Like
on
by
MLK.
Decatur. Yeah.
So
that was the closest mall besides
Yeah.
the premiums.
Yeah. So yeah, the premium was still being built at the time.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Fuck, okay.
So yeah, we go to the Meadows Mall and jerk battle people and stuff like that.
What year was that?
It had to be like 09, 10.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
I was like heavy into crumping.
Yeah.
I remember when jerking first came out and like people were talking about it. It was
Yeah.
like all of us crumpers would make fun of it.
Yeah. All the B-boys was like mad at us, yo. They're like, that ain't no pin drop, that's a Colt 45. And I was like, oh, word.
Like, yeah, you're technical, but we just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. But I looked at dance in that aspect. And then I felt like I like moved to the south side. So all my homies from
The north
the north, yeah.
or the west side, you would call it.
It's like northwest. You know, if you went to Andre Agassi Boys and Girls Club, you know what's up.
Yeah. Yep. What's that? Washington and MLK?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right by D Street?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's where I used to stay at.
Oh, yeah.
Where that Walker furniture is.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. That Walker furniture is like legitimately like
right
history.
underneath the spaghetti bowl. Yeah. I used to stay across the street from there.
Okay.
So
when
yeah.
you moved to the south side,
I moved to the south side. I didn't know anything about dance. And that's
besides
when I met.
jerking.
Yeah. Well, jerking and like regular like popping and stuff like that. But then my high school, Silverado, had a really heavy b-boy scene. So I had this homie named John Michael, rest in peace. They were part of this crew called Hero Crew, and it's like a little ragtag, like little homies. They threw this jam at the homie Ing's mom's restaurant.
Okay.
And that's when I like found out about the scene. Like Primo showed up, Seagar showed up, like a bunch of people from Knucklehead Zoo.
Got you. Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is some like random jam these high school kids threw. Like K Moore pulled up, and I was like, yo, who are these people? Like,
yeah.
And that's what like introduced me to like the greater scope of like what was going on
in Vegas.
Yeah, because I had no idea like the scene was like a scene.
Yeah,
you
you didn't know that there was an actual
Yeah.
hip hop.
Yeah, we would just run around battling people, whoever could get it.
And back then it wasn't so like 09, 2010, like the internet was still a thing.
Yeah.
But Facebook and and Instagram and YouTube wasn't where it is now.
No, not at all.
So like now you could literally search on Facebook and be like Vegas hip hop dance crew, and you'll find something. Back then you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So you had to be in the scene.
Right, yeah. No clue it existed. But sorry. But then like that intrigued my interest. I wanted to know more. I wanted to see. So I like this is a very old story. I went in the phone book and
oh hell no. Hey, if you don't know what a phone book is, turn the podcast off right now.
Also,
I don't even want you to watch it.
We grew up broke. Yeah,
we grew up broke as hell.
We didn't have no internet.
Yellow pages.
Yeah, I grabbed a phone book and I flipped through dance studios.
My bad.
And
yeah, that's funny as fuck.
And I just like started calling them. I was like, "Hey, you got hip hop?" And then be like,
"Yeah, that."
Like, yeah, but only for kids type thing. And I'm like, I'm about to be 18, so I'm like, all right, I can't do that. And then
walk into a beginner hip hop class for 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
I can't.
But like I was already like breaking and stuff like that in the street, so like I had some.
You had knowledge.
Yeah. So I couldn't be like, all right, introductory class. Excuse me, but that's how I found out about District.
Okay.
I had met Lee Andrew.
Yeah.
I met him through a mutual friend, and then he was like, "Oh, you should come join Rascal's crew," back in the day.
Damn, Rascal's crew.
And I was like, "Oh hell yeah! Like I really want to like get into it. I really want to know it." And then I didn't hear from him for like 6 months, and then I randomly ran into him at Town Square at the movie theaters, and I was like, "Hey man, why you ducking me?" Like, and he's like, "Oh no, it's not like that." He's like, "Actually, Rascals broke up." So I was like, I couldn't.
You couldn't even do anything.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you to come to something that don't exist. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but there's this new crew that I just started called Under the Radar. And he's like, if you want to come through, you could come. And I was like, for sure, I'll come through. And showed up at District. And it was like, for me, the perfect introduction into like the scene. I feel like if I went to any other studio, I probably would have like walked out.
It's official now. The Hive Hustle Podcast about to sit you down. Go and fix your crown. This ain't a grain of salt. Pick your brain and thoughts, even through a major loss. Still remain a boss. Resonate with greatness. Celebrate creators. Ain't no blanket statements. Elevate and claim it. So amazed, I'm making the way for those in need. Mold the lane, showing change in the growing me.
Well, District was the hub.
It was.
Starting in 2011, 2012, like, it was the hub for Vegas dance. I was teaching Crump. You had, it was what, a Full Force dance studio.
Full Force.
One of the main crews in Vegas. You know, Full Force, there's Full Force, Knucklehead Zoo, and Battleborn, which were like the main three biggest crews, besides like Potts and other crews.
Dang, Potts, People of the Sun.
Yeah, Neek and all them. You know what I'm saying? But that's the perfect intro.
Yeah.
So
A-Team had the Saturday sessions.
Yeah, like literally, we were all at District. That was the home. That makes sense. Yeah. So what made you now shifting? Obviously, that was your introduction, and that's where I met you.
Yeah.
You know, you were the literally the intern at the front desk.
Yup.
And I told you to make. They were supposed to pay him.
Yeah. He was like, I'm not gonna talk to you until
they pay
you. So you just come in and
just,
like, you get paid
to put it out there, Mafioso has always wanted people to get what they're worth. Since 2012.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this on Instagram, too, just so y'all know. But, yeah, so, dude, we both got a problem right now. I ain't smoked all day, so my anxiety's tripping. What made you want to pursue it as a career after?
What made I always like, I feel like I categorize myself as a performer.
Okay.
There's this conversation I had with Pepper Vaughn. Super duper, like, he's from Sacramento. Like, to me, he's like the godfather of all dance. Because he's like, he predates like hip hop, you know?
Really?
Yeah, because Pepper is like 73, 74. And
Okay.
this fool still teaches class every Tuesday. The last time I took his class, I almost threw up. He's going hard at 73.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, but he was saying that like everybody falls into like this category of like what they do with dance, and the category I fall into is I'm a performer and I just use dance to perform.
Okay.
Like if I was a singer, I'd perform, but I just use singing.
Yeah.
I can't sing worth a damn, so
Got
dance
you.
is
So
what I
you
do.
just consider yourself a performer in general.
Yeah. So I just kind of like got this bug that like I didn't want to have a job.
Okay.
I didn't want to have this job. And like I said, I grew up very poor. So like my one aspiration in life is really like
Stability.
well, yeah. But like this dream I had is like I want to have a job where I have to go to the airport a lot. Because I didn't get on a plane until I was like 23. So it was like, I want to be able to go to the airport and travel and do this and do this and do that.
I understand that feeling. Yeah.
So I was like, I could do that with dance. ABDC like was a thing
yeah, so you did good
around
dance.
that time.
World
Yeah,
of Dance was
yeah.
really big.
So I'm seeing this stuff that like something I'm interested in, and people like Urban Dance Camp is in Germany, and
Yeah.
it's like I know these fools ain't from
Damn,
Germany.
Urban Dance Camp.
Yeah, so like seeing stuff like that is like, all right, I could do that. I could get this job where like I can go there and it's fun and I can be silly and goofy and entertain people how I want to, and then like it's also that physical release too. So
Yeah.
that was the
reason.
yeah
behind it.
yeah
Okay. Now, to shift a little bit, because obviously we talked about your introduction and what made you want to make it a career. Now, being that you're, 11 years now? Like officially in the dance scene?
yeah 11
Okay.
coming on 12.
Yeah, like 2024 would be 12 because you started in what, 2011, 2012?
2012, yeah.
So you're going on 12 years of being actively in street dance, hip hop, in specifically the Las Vegas community. You lived in Sacramento for a little bit, right?
For like a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
being a veteran out here, how have you seen hip hop and performing and street dance grow? And then, like, what do you think can make it better in this day and age?
Dang. Me and Steph talk about this all the time. We feel like we're in that middle child generation, and it's like that's such a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because seeing the OGs like of our times, like the pre-YouTube dancers.
Yeah.
So that's like Ellis and EJ Barba out here. That's like Brian Inez.
EJ Barba.
Yeah.
Shout out to EJ.
Yeah,
man.
for real.
I go to church with him, and he's amazing.
EJ is the homie for life. Or like Good Crew, you know,
Yeah, I remember
back in the
Good
day. So I came in like where they're like where I am now, where it's like they start to make that branch. Like, all right, am I gonna like go settle down? I'm gonna keep doing this type thing.
Yeah.
So
You're in that fork.
Yeah.
It's like I'm either going to continue to be creative and dance, or there's got to be a shift and I got to take a different career path.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody has that moment.
Yeah, and then when I came into the scene, a lot of those people were getting to that point.
Yeah.
So, so seeing like these people that laid the foundation of what stuff was, and then it was like our job to kind of pick that up
And take it further.
Yeah. So speaking on Vegas in particular, I've been blessed to have the benefit of experiencing multiple scenes, but just speaking on Vegas in general, I think that middle period, the middle kingdom, so to speak, was very interesting. That's where a lot of people were trying to strike it on their own type thing. And I think there was a little glue left in the community, and it was like slowly pulling. I think, and I feel like I'm always like, you know, walking on eggshells to say this, but like nowadays the community is a lot more fractured and like splintered off.
I feel like the pandemic had a lot to do with that.
I think so,
a lot of
too.
things happened in the pandemic with
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I feel like that has a lot to do with it, and I feel like we're rebuilding right now.
Yes. But the Vegas scene to me was very, man, I feel like me personally, I'm in such a weird spot on it because I started like battling.
Yeah.
That's where I started at.
And then you went into
And then I
choreo.
went into choreo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I tried to keep both feet in it as much as possible. I mean, I lean more choreo heavy now, but like, you know, you see me, I'll go
Bro,
to battle.
you battled at the R&B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make it a
You
point.
just talked about it before we got on camera that you might battle this Sunday at the Hybrids anniversary.
Hybrids anniversary tomorrow.
Literally,
Yeah, I might put my name down. I don't know because I'm not feeling
Of course.
my best right
You're
now.
not fully at 100%, but the point is you still have
Yeah,
your feet
I'm
in
gonna
both.
go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna participate.
Yeah,
you know.
of course.
But yeah. So seeing the scene from its different points is like crazy to me because to me Vegas freestyle is like, you know, you got Super Crew, we had the Arc, we had
The Vegas freestyle scene is definitely very, very high quality.
yeah. But then the choreo scene doesn't get that same like height, and but there's a
so
lot
many
of
great
factors.
people.
There are, and it's not a talent thing.
Just to be honest with you, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is my personal opinion about that specific subject, about how high quality the Vegas freestyle scene is and how high quality the Vegas choreo scene is. The problem that we run into with why the Vegas choreo scene isn't like highlighted as much because the lack of events.
Yeah, I think that
Like
plays
Sile
a huge...
was a great thing, but once it stopped, we haven't had World of Dance. Prelude is okay, but it's not the best platform. So I feel like the Vegas choreo heads need to come together like the Vegas freestyle heads did.
Yeah.
And they need to create something that can be Vegas.
which is why also dope exists.
What? Say that again.
Which is why also dope exists.
Exactly.
But I think
Amen.
I think that same reason is why people seek outside of Vegas.
Yeah. But understand that Vegas freestyle does that too.
Yeah, it does, but I think there's also like I think it's like because there were more freestyle focused things, they're like a bit further down that
yeah.
line than that.
Very
like
true.
I'm not saying it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I think
But
it's
we're
gonna take
definitely
more
down the
time
line.
because
And more groundwork needs to be put into play with solid foundation for Vegas choreo scene to thrive, because there's certain people in the scene that are thriving. Like Playground thrives like crazy in the commercial hip hop scene. You know, Prodigy, K has thrived tremendously with the Prodigy dance crew and being in the Aces and things of that sort. We see people getting into the industry. And like now that Vegas is growing, but what we don't see is the community itself, choreography wise, being flourished.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed.
Yeah, and that's a core philosophy of me. But I mean, it's not mine. You know, I'm a big hip hop historian.
I know.
That is my
One thing I've learned from you in the past year and a half being around you is you know your hip hop roots, and that's dope as hell to me.
Thank you, man. I love it. To me, as a dancer, but more importantly, as a black man, I feel like it's my culture,
Yeah.
you know, and not to, I'm never being one to gatekeep, you know, like, oh, you're not black, so you can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't never
you
been
have
like
to
that.
acknowledge it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where, when I learned that, that's what made me shift my whole brand. Because you remember, I said the N-word all the time. I was a crumper, bro. That was a part of our normal language. So when somebody came to me and was like, Soul, Jade Soul, he came to me and was like, yo, bro, you got to stop saying that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're not allowed to say that. And I'm like, hold on, what? Every person in the crump community has never said anything to me about this. What is going on? I was very entitled. I grew up on the east side of Vegas, bro. I was in a gang. I was this, I was that. What you talking about? And then it clicked. Bro, this isn't yours. Why do you feel the need to have the right to even say that or call this yours? And that's why I feel like my mindset shifted. And I feel like everybody in the dance scene needs that.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, like I was saying, like to me, it's like ethnically my culture,
Yeah.
but it's also lifestyle-wise is my culture. You know, I don't know how to explain that, but like
It's
culture
yours.
is lifestyle. Yeah, but that also doesn't give me a free pass to be like, oh, you know, I can just do it because.
It doesn't give
I'm
you
black.
a free pass to be entitled yourself.
Right, exactly.
You still have to put
I have
the
to do
work
my
in, you
homework.
know what I'm
I have to
saying?
learn about
Yeah.
my culture. I couldn't call myself throwing events or trying to do something or trying to host a class if I don't have the knowledge. Like you can't just do shit without knowing shit. You
Yeah.
know? And that's always been like my thing is knowledge first, you know?
Yeah.
And so like
Well,
my whole philosophy.
Hip hop, it was built on
Exactly,
knowledge.
exactly. Like from KRS-One, you know, the great teacher KRS-One has this like 3-tiered thing of like hip hop, and like the way it's spelled out and like how it works is like hip hop, like one mushed together, HIPHOP, no space, no hyphen, no nothing.
Yeah.
Is the unphysical part, the collective thought of the people.
Yeah.
And that's what makes
Where
hip-hop
they were
hip-hop.
at and they created.
Yeah. Like Steph was asking me, like how did Nike become part of hip hop? And I was like, because people decided.
Yeah.
Because people decided.
The African American community decided we are going to wear this shoe,
This
and
way.
that's what made it what it is today.
Yeah, it's the collective thought.
If the African American community never created the want to build, dude, half of the shit we wear today is because I was just watching a podcast yesterday with Tigga. I guess they have The Basement now on like BET's YouTube account.
Yo,
I didn't know that.
That used to be my show.
And now Tigga is interviewing other artists about hip hop.
Word.
Same thing we're doing, but he's doing it on a bigger scale. And now they call it The Basement something else. I forgot what it was called. But they had Bow Wow on there, and they were talking about how hip hop was an idea first, and they made everything cool that is cool now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they were also talking about how rock isn't anything anymore. It's an indie genre.
Right.
And they said if hip hop doesn't do something different or change its route, it could be that in the next 50 years.
I don't think hip hop that can happen to. I think rap that can happen to.
Very true.
There's a difference.
There's the two totally different
Yeah.
things. Rap, like lyricism and rapping is
just one
is
part
one section
of
of hip
hip-hop.
hop, and that's what they were saying on the podcast. They were saying like the whole idea of hip hop is still going to be a thing because
Yeah.
there's hip hop in advertisements,
Yes.
there's hip hop in everything. But rap as a genre of music could low key go down.
Yeah.
If they don't change it.
Yeah.
So now shifting, obviously you made the decision to take it as serious as a career. We obviously know that led you on the Jabberwockies.
Oh yeah.
That's a big deal, man. Like being a part of that company. A lot of people think that it's still the same people that are in the masks, and they don't understand that they have
People
like
ask that all
a
the time.
whole like conglomerate of people that wear that mask. It's not KB and Rainin and them anymore. Which, don't get me wrong, they probably do. But
They still rock the mask.
yeah, but ultimately, day to day, show to show, there's a cast of people. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what was that like, and what was some memorable moments that you had with the Jabberwockies cast?
Oh man. My journey with Jabba, it predates the show.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So I was on Camp Radar, Under the
Yeah.
Radar, underrated. One of our directors was Amanda Gutierrez. Shout out Boogie Lala, OG Boogie Monsters. I am DJP. Shout out all those peeps. But you know, she's been with them since like, you know,
very beginning.
very
type
beginning,
thing.
yeah. Pre all that, and she has like familial ties with them. So coming up under her, I got to meet some of them beforehand. But randomly one day at Neon,
Okay. Which one was it? The first one?
no, it was Neon 2013.
Okay. So the second one.
Yeah.
No, that was the first one.
Was it?
Yeah. That's when me and Brandon won. That's me and Crooks won.
Oh, okay.
So
But yeah, Neon 2013, there was
Under
this,
the Radar performed.
it was my like very first performance on stage ever. There was this random Jabberwocky cutout downstairs, and KB was there, and like nobody was talking to him. I feel like people were too like scared to approach him.
Oh, yeah.
because it's KB.
Back
you know?
then, yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh my God, that's a
Yeah.
Jabberwocky." I remember seeing him at church for the first time. I was like, "Oh!" I literally looked at my wife at this time. I was like, "Yo, that's a Jabberwocky."
Yeah, like seeing them at like
babe.
brew tea or something. Like,
Literally, like what? So
But yeah, I went up to him and he had this sign up sheet, and I was like, "Oh, what is this for?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to start this like class thing." And it
I
was
remember
like,
that.
Yeah, and it was
was like
Kaboom
Beat-
Squad.
Beat Kundo.
Yeah, it was the predecessor to Beat Kundo. It was
Yeah.
Kaboom Squad, which I guess was their like training team back in
yeah,
the
I was
day.
on that squad.
Yeah. So I was like the first person to sign up for that on that
Uh-huh.
sign up sheet. And I was like, all right, well, you know, that's cool. I hope that like turns
It
into
turns
something.
into something, yeah.
Yeah. And so I went to those things, and then I went to the audition, and like I was so nervous because there's like all these people that I've looked up to for years at this audition and like the final round. And I was like, damn, I took the bus here, yo. Like everybody else
Yeah.
like are from somewhere, and I was like,
Yeah.
I just took the bus. I lived down the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my journey with Jabba was crazy. I was there for 5 years, from 2015 to 2019, 2020.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. What would you say a memorable moment is?
God, so many. There's so many things that like I got to do while rocking the mask. Being a part of the cast is crazy. It's definitely like an experience that I would never give up, you know?
Yeah.
Something that's like definitely memorable. I think my greatest onstage thing was doing the Pulse Twin Cities concert. It's like a Christian concert
I know,
festival. And it was at I forget what the name of the stadium is, but it's the Vikings Stadium.
Okay.
And like it was 70,000 people in the audience, and that was like the biggest like crowd of people
That you've ever performed
yeah.
for, yeah.
And I just remember like we come out and there's this part where we just like stand there and we look out, and I was like, oh my God, like that was like the like crazy
The pinnacle
moment.
of,
Yeah,
like, your
yeah. It's
career.
like this is like
That's like when I was
everything
in
I've been working towards.
Yeah, that's when I was in Japan. I taught a workshop, and it was a kids workshop, and it was the craziest workshop I've ever taught. And I'm sitting there, standing there, and I'm looking at all the students, and they're just looking at me. They don't speak English. They just want to learn a crumb. They don't care about who I am. They don't care about like what I've accomplished. They just know that I'm a good crumper, and they just want to learn. And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, damn, like, it was like that moment where you seen that meme of is it WizKid, where he, like, his song is playing, and he's just looking at the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
Recently, that video that came out, and you could tell it was like an aha moment for him. I guarantee that moment for you was that aha moment, like, dang, I really accomplished one of my dreams.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills just, like, thinking about it.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy, because my, like, first year in Jabba is when Prism was still going.
Yeah.
And it was, like, rehearsal for it. Mm-hmm. And there's this part during Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
Where it's, like, anyone can see.
Yeah.
And there's this part where these, like, lights come down and they, like, flush over the audience. And every time I watched that show, like, that part gave me, like, goosebumps. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I remember sitting in the theater thinking, like, oh my God, like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm on this side of it.
Yeah.
And, like, the lights, they did the lights thing because they're just running tests. And, like, when it hit me, like, I just had, like, this moment of silence for myself. And then doing Pulse, the same feeling from, like, the camera flashes was the same way that the lights worked. So I was like, oh, snap. Like, this is, like, for real full circle for me.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. Well, like, obviously 2020 Jabba stopped. You were, obviously we all had the pandemic. That was a crazy situation. But then after that, as I know, you started something called Also Dope.
Yes.
And Dope Show Crew.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It's official now. The Hive Hustle Podcast about to sit you down. Go and fix your crown. This ain't a grain of salt. Pick your brain and thoughts, even through a major loss. Still remain a boss. Resonate with greatness. Celebrate creators. Ain't no blanket statements. Elevate and claim it. So amazed, I'm making a way for those in need. Mold the lane, showing change in a growing me.
So, 2020 was crazy. That's when I went to SAC, because my girl's from SAC. So, went there to be with her for a while. Just so happens the pandemic was also going on.
Yeah.
So, I unintentionally stayed there. You know,
Obviously,
I wasn't going.
We couldn't do nothing.
Yeah. But you know, I learned a lot. Excuse me. Seeing a different scene that works in a different way, a scene that's older than us, and then a scene that has so much stuff that comes out of it. Like, for instance, Boogie, right? My girl was the current director of Boogie Monstars. Yeah. Boogie Monstars goes back to 2003, but then there's so many people that came out of Boogie Monstars, like David Garibaldi, the painter, is from Boogie Monstars. Victoria Monet, the singer, she was on Boogie Monstars. Yeah. So if you wondering why she killing the On My Mama choreos, because she was on Boogie. Because
she knows how to dance.
Yeah. All these people from, like, Sacramento in general, Kid Kita, TJ Lewis, like, all these people come from SAC. So seeing a scene that, like, breeds, like, it's like crazy a furnace dancer, over there, you know, like, just diamonds come out of there. And being able to experience it is like, yo, this scene is wild. Yeah. What's going on here? Like, there's got to be something in the water. What's happening here? Yeah. I knew that even though I was the current director of Under the Radar, shout out to Chris Aldiger, like my mentor. Amazing dude. Taught me everything 1,000%. I wouldn't be anywhere I would be without him and his knowledge. But I took over directing from him, and there's just a difference between, like, having your own. You know?
Yeah. That's the same thing with me. Like, I could have continued one round. I could have continued that brand, but it wasn't mine. It was built by a collective of people, and that's why I changed it to Swarm Brand, because this is mine. I could say that I created this and curated it from the ground up. So I understand that.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I want to strike out on my own. I want to take my collective knowledge that I've gathered from everywhere I've been. And now that I'm with Steph, who's someone that, like, I always respected as a dancer, and her history is just, like, insane. I was like, I want to dance forever. God,
you're good.
I want to dance forever.
You being here, even though you're, like, not feeling well.
We're doing this. I want to keep dancing. I want to keep being in dance.
Drink some water, bro.
Thank you. Yeah. But how do I keep, doing it even if like I physically can't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you like, and that's where I'm at right now. That's why this is a thing, because I know there's going to come a time, like, people don't really, like, they ask me all the time, like, how old are you? I'm like, bro, I'm almost 40. Like, 3 years from now, I'm going to be 40. And like, I know that I'm not going to be able to battle forever. I know I'm not going to be able to I'm not going to be able to be competing forever, but how can I still invest? So I get it.
Yeah. So we decided to start Also Dope. And the Also Dope is a hip hop entertainment and education and entertainment company.
Got you.
So our ultimate goal is to teach life through hip hop.
Okay.
Because to me, that's how I grew up. I grew up with the culture in mind, and everything that I did, dress, style, food, everything comes back to hip hop. And as a historian of sorts, I want to keep the culture going.
Yeah.
That's our motto, to elevate the culture today. I feel like there's like a huge misconception about like foundational styles, for instance, where it's like, oh, I don't want to learn popping because I'm not trying to be a popper. And it's like, okay, like nobody says you have to do that like that, but you can utilize the knowledge of it into other things. So we started Also Dope to just share our knowledge with specifically the community level dancer.
Okay. The people that you were when you were 12 and you went to that
event.
event.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Because
the introduction, the introduction is all that matters.
Yes. And I feel like how you were saying, like, people go to the industry
and
they leave some people leave the community behind.
Yeah.
But they come back to community as themselves.
No matter what.
They don't come back and like giving a lot. So I blessed to be able to do the things I've done with Jabba as myself and all this stuff and stuff too. And we're like, how do we get everyone else to experience these things?
Yeah.
And so that's our ultimate goal with Also Dope, is getting the community dancer level something other than this show a year, this show a year, this show a year.
Yeah. Instead of like, hey, we only have Sayo to look forward to. How are we going to develop relationships within the dance community and within the Las Vegas community to introduce people to hip hop?
Right. And that's why we started like Groove Nights.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
you don't have to be a dancer. You just know
go.
You know how to groove.
Yeah. We got a live DJ. And
Yeah.
you just spin, and if you need some help, we'll show you some grooves real quick.
Yeah.
But other than that, just go.
Come support. Come have a good time.
It's basically like a mini block party in the studio.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it.
Well, you have to have that, bro, because we're so studio based now that I feel like when kids go into the dance studio and they learn about hip hop, they're learning the moves. They're learning do this and not the knowledge. So I feel like what you guys are doing is great because you're giving people, hey, this is the move. The move is a Fresno. But where did that groove come from, and where did that mindset come from behind that move? And that's what I learned from you. And that's why I tell you all the time, I'm like, you helped me have fun again with dance. Like, there's not a lot of people that you could go to and actually go to a dance class and have a great time. Some people are like, you got to get the choreo. You got to get this right. You got to get this right. And that's one thing that I love about you is like, bro, you're teaching us the knowledge, you're giving us the moves, and you're making it fun at the same time. So props, bro.
Thank you, man.
Real
Thank
talk.
you. I say all the time that I think a lot of people like dancing.
Yeah.
They don't like dance.
Bars.
Bar got bars.
Bars.
Mixtape dropping soon.
It literally. Fuck, that was crazy. People like dancing. They don't like dance.
Yeah.
That is the craziest. I don't know if it's a metaphor. I don't know what it is, but that's when you really think about that statement. That's insane.
Yeah. I like, and I'm not, I'm not trying to call nobody out or nothing like that. That's not my thing. Just speaking on my personal observations, and I could be totally wrong,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I like dance in its idea. I like I could never do another show again and be completely content.
Just
don't
dancing.
have to. Yeah, just dancing. Not even being on a crew.
Yeah.
Or
A lot of people miss that.
yeah.
A lot of people have to have the next thing. They have to have the next show. They have to have the next concept video. They have to have the next performance. They don't enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And
Sorry. That was a lot.
But everybody started there.
Yeah.
Everybody started there.
You started watching something and
Yeah.
you fell in love with the move, the feeling it gave you. That's good.
But we all get jaded, in our journey.
Trauma,
Yeah.
triggers.
Yeah,
Hurt, resentment, bitterness.
As soon as you do like a comp show,
And
Hell
you don't
Week,
make it and you're pissed off.
Yeah.
You're not feeling it.
yeah, and then you start looking at things from like a critical point of view, and you're like critiquing it, like, that could have been cleaner, that could have been, this, that. But you're just,
The
like,
analytics start
yeah.
playing a point.
yeah. But I also feel like
There's a balance.
the new gen see it because they're new. They see it more so in that way. And then I feel like an old head when people are like, yeah, but the vibe was good. And I was like, but that shit was sloppy, yo. Like
There's
got to be a
to
balance.
everything,
Yeah, there's
man.
got to be a balance.
Like that's how I feel when it comes down to it. It's like we have to have a balance of or originality, like when it comes to like where the foundation is, but we have to allow people to be creative and free.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and it's always hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's always hard. Now, I also dope is an entertainment and educational company that thrives off of hip hop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, within that company, you have your own crew.
Yes.
So how did the formation and what's the mission behind Dope Show?
So Also Dope is the overall
Like the
company.
umbrella.
Yeah, the umbrella company. And it puts together stuff, it produces stuff, it produces videos, this, that, and the third, events, helps teach people. We go out to schools and teach, But the Dope Show is supposed to be the living proof of that.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like the petri dish of Also Dope.
Yeah.
Like
this is what we create.
yeah,
This is
what it
form of
yeah,
it.
this is what
Yeah.
it looks like
Yeah.
concentrated, opposed to like outside events. This was internal. So that was like the reasoning behind the formation of it. Also, because me and Steph, we still want to dance, but it was to be like, okay, this is all the theories. Let's put these theories into practice. How do we run a crew that is purely based off of what we believe in dance? Because people ask us all the time, like, when are you guys going to perform? When are you guys going to perform? When are you guys going to perform? And it's like,
We're performing every day.
Yeah,
We're making things happen.
and that's
all
what
the
I'm
time.
saying about like the dance versus dancing.
Yeah.
Like we're cool to just come in the studio
And have a good
and
time.
have a good time and dance and like
collaborate.
make
and-
it shit with
and-
each other. Yeah. But I'm just
That's
saying,
where it started.
Yeah.
The garage.
Yeah. It's getting that feeling back. Like, but we're not opposed to performing or like doing these shows and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it was never like, okay, we're gonna be a comp team. We're gonna be a showcase.
You're
team.
not a competition team.
We're not
You're
a team at
hip-hop
all.
crew.
We're
You're
a
hip-hop
crew. We're a
Yeah.
crew. And there's a
There's a whole different
yeah,
ball game.
yeah.
People don't understand that. A competition dance team, me personally, in my personal opinion, I'm not saying this is factual. I'm not saying that this is what it is. This is my
Disclaimer.
personal opinion. A hip hop competition dance team, in my opinion, is parallel to a cheerleader.
Yeah.
In this day and
I hear
age.
that comparison
In this day
a
and
lot
age.
from a lot of
A
different
hip
people.
hop crew is a group of friends that hung out that love to dance.
Yes.
Whether that be crump, hip hop, breaking, popping, funk. A crew is a crew of people that come together that dance together.
Right.
A competition team, you can
We have an
relate that
objective.
to. You have
We
an
have a goal.
objective. You have a reason. You have, okay, we're coming in here to create this choreo piece, to perform it, to win. And that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued, is because the team and the crew are two totally different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they try to mix the two.
Yeah.
And you have to keep them separate,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
That's what I love about Dope Show is that like Kai, for instance, was like, hey, you trying to enter hybrids? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go. And it's like, we don't rehearse for battling in practice.
yeah.
It's just something that like, okay, yeah, when we got time,
We'll get together,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
make
just
some
session, or
routines
we'll
and,
session right now
Yeah.
while we have studio time.
Yeah.
Or somebody's like, hey, I got this idea to shoot. Y'all trying to shoot it?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but we don't come in and be like, okay, right now we have a show because someone asked us to do a show.
Yeah.
But
when you don't have a show, you're not necessarily like, hey, let's prep for this, and this.
Yeah.
You're not filling your schedule to where you have to consistently prep for something. You guys can actually enjoy yourself.
Yeah. We enjoy dance for dance sake. And if we so happen to be like, somebody's like, hey, we haven't been on stage in a while. Let's flex that muscle, let's work that out. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's go do that.
At that one event I see.
Oh, yeah, Mahalo. Oh my God, that was so crazy. Like that's my whole thing is that like they asked us to do that a week before and it was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's just go do it. We got a bunch of stuff that we like.
You can put together.
Yeah. But it's not like we like practice for that idea.
Or practiced tremendously for 7 weeks to make sure that everything was on point.
Yeah.
You went and had a good time.
Yeah.
And if it came down to it, it came down to it. If you got some solid people that were interested after, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is gonna be the last question.
Okay.
We've dived into the fact of you growing up in New Orleans. We dived into the fact of you moving to Vegas and seeing dance for the first time and really getting involved. We dived into you being Jabba. You've had a great career. Now, final is, what's next? Like, what do you have coming up for Also Dope? How can we find you? How can they support you? All of that.
Tonight, we have also, damn, not on the tags.
You're good.
Tonight, actually, we're holding a community class.
Yeah. At District, right?
At District Arts. Marcin Legato and Daniel Signs are teaching.
Let's go.
And then we have a session afterwards.
Okay.
We don't traditionally hold class in like the way like you just come in and like do stuff. We give class time for people to like workshop almost like, oh, this is what we're gonna be teaching, and like get people to really like learn at class. That's the goal with a community class.
Okay.
Next month, Groove Nights will be returning.
Shit.
If
Sorry, I got hype.
Well, returning in Vegas. We had Groove Nights in Sacramento.
I remember, yeah. That's why I'm like, you returning in Vegas. Okay, my wife's going to have the baby. We will be at Groove Nights here. For sure.
And then we have I can't say too much about what's coming up, but something's coming up very soon. It's something that we've been like working towards. Okay. Information should be coming out soon for that. But yeah, we got stuff coming for the horizon.
Let's go.
But yeah, if you want to keep up to date, you want to keep blowing it up. Also Dope.
Okay.
At Also Dope on all social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. The Dope Show Crew, same thing on all things.
Okay.
We also have a website, alsodope.com.
Okay.
All our information's there too.
Cool.
Find about events, choreography, whatever, what have you. Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you. Once again, you inspired the hell out of me, and I'm grateful to have you. I'll be at Groove Nights because that shit is live.
I'll be there too.
I appreciate you. This has been episode, I think, 11 now of the Hive Hustle Podcast. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff that you need to do.
Subscribe to Also Dope on
Subscribe
YouTube.
to all of us, everything. But y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time, and peace.
It's official now. The Hive Hustle Podcast about to sit you down. Go and fix your crown. This ain't a grain of salt. Pick your brain and thoughts even through